Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls. How is everyone doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? And how are you doing? Those of y'all up in the nosebleed seats should have bought your tickets earlier and stopped buying them off StubHub. Maybe you could have got a better seat a little closer to the action. Welcome to this week in UGA football season number 2, episode 36. That's 36. 36. For those of you all that speak Spanish, appreciate you joining. I don't even know why I just did that. Don't ask me why. It sounded cool at the moment, and yeah, it just came out sounded real stupid. So Mr. Fingaz gets the air horn. 1 minute and 30 seconds into the show. This is episode number 36 of season 2 of This Week in UGA Football. I am one half of the crew, all the way in the heart of Oklahoma City, from Zagnif Central, Mr. Fingaz, and that guy right over there, my partner in the other corner wearing the blue trunks, standing at 5'10", 5'11".
On a good day, 5'11".
5'11", 5'11" on a good day, 6'2" with the afro. He is the sexy Mother Hubbard, the brother from another, the ace of base in the place, in your face. I am very happy to be here because it is my favorite part of the game. I took out all of the trash, so there's no trash can here today. Collin P from the DMV, talking SEC, because that's where UGA be, on the INTERNET with me. You see? There it is. How you doing, bro?
PC. No, I'm doing great, man. How are you doing? That was a great weekend. Had a good weekend. Yeah, I had to work on Saturday, but pretty good Sunday. Just kind of laid around, kind of decompressed a little bit. Weather wasn't all that great, so I didn't really miss too much. But hey, I enjoyed Saturday because we showed out like I hoped we would. So, how about yourself, brother?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm doing pretty good, bro. Since we had the show last week, you see my additions. Let me get out the way here. You see my new additions. Let me go ahead and zoom in. I don't have to do all that. There we go. There's my additions right there. We got Year of the Dogs. Dogs on top. And for those of you that are unfamiliar, the Red and Black is the UGA official student on campus newspaper. And I had those come in right after the big game. I had a friend of mine hook me up with those. I finally got some frames to put them up on the wall. And I had them since January.
Oh, yeah.
You think it's about time I put them up?
Yeah, they look good, man. Look really good. I like them. I like them a lot.
Yeah, not doing bad at all. Had to fight a little bug on Friday, but your boy is back in action. Except for that, I sound like the Ricky Smiley character there, Daryl. You got some milk. But that's all right. We go power through it. And then Saturday, of course, the Dogs won. So we gonna get into that in a little bit. But that's what's going on, man. That's what's good. That's all that's going on with your boy. That's pretty much it. I was gonna cook, but Collin and I have this ritual. And for some reason, it only happens on Monday. I will go to the grocery store, and inevitably, I will go, crap, I have not called Collin. Let me call Collin real quick, make sure we're still good to go, blah, 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 blah. And I will talk to Collin. Now, any other time we get on the phone, we talk about 10 minutes, we done. Collin and I will inevitably talk for a half hour. My plan was go to the store, get groceries, come home, cook dinner, have something to eat, and at least have eaten half of it by the time we come on. I got back with 15 minutes to spare. Before we can get on the show. So so that's what that is. That is what that is. Those of you all that are watching, thank you so much for joining us. Please make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to give it a share And most of all, make sure you smash that subscribe button. We are live tonight on Facebook and on YouTube. So we appreciate each and every one of you tuning in. Replays will be flipping over to the Zagnif 1 YouTube page a little bit later on this week. So you know what? Before we get going, I think I'm not gonna pick on Sam this week. Oh, wait a minute. You know what? Hey, you know what? This is not SEC related at all whatsoever. But I just got to play this clip just because the most improbable thing in football history happened. For those of you not following, the coach fired the head coach, Coach Wright, and they hired a guy who a week before was a television analyst, former football player for the Colts, played along with Peyton Manning during the Super Bowl run, Jeff Saturday. No coaching experience whatsoever.
Yep.
No quarterback of his own on the squad. No rapport with the guys on the team other than maybe he showed up and patted them on the back before a game. This man went into a game with zero experience, with 3 days, 4 days experience. They hired him on Saturday, which is ironic. No, but they fired the coach the week before. They hired him on Monday. He came in with 6 days worth of coaching experience and beat the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, and I
Yes,
think
indeed.
before that, I think he tweeted something like something about the Raiders are garbage or something like that. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. So, hey, shouts out to Coach Saturday. When they asked backup quarterback Sam Ellinger what he had to think about the whole thing, this is what he had to say.
We're back.
Yeah, that's hey, it is what it is. But we're gonna get back into it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You know what time it is. This ain't about Colts football. This is this week in UGA football, and the crowd was definitely screaming UGA. Listen, by about the halfway through the third quarter, the cowbells had gone silent, and the crowd was chanting UGA, UGA. Why? Because the Dogs notched win number 10 in a very decisive 45-19 victory over the Dogs of Mississippi State. Collin, what you got from this, baby?
Oh man, it was that first drive got me, man. Even we got down there close to the goal line. They had a couple stops, and we finally got in there. But it was just, man, we marched right on down the field first series, and I was like, man, this could be a blowout early. It could be over really soon. But there's a lot of good things to point out in this game, and a few miscues, Mississippi State wasn't even in it. I mean, it was just those last 19 points there. Just they came later on. But I like the way we played. I love with the the two tight ends. I mean, we saw both Big O and we saw Big Brock Bowers and McConkey. It looks like he shook the cobwebs off, and he's playing with a purpose now. Like he looks like he's determined and he's pissed off, and he broke off that 70-yard run, and it looked like everybody was on fire. I mean, it looked great.
Yeah, absolutely, man. This was quite possibly the most complete game that I think I have seen them play since, as far as in terms of complete games, the Oregon game.
Yeah.
And I want to say either Auburn. They blanked Auburn. So definitely. I mean, they from start to finish straight out the gate. There were a couple of miscues. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But the Dogs were 100% dominant from wire to wire. Notch win number 10. And as a result, ladies and gentlemen, of notching win number 10, the Dogs have clinched the SEC East and have notched themselves their second consecutive berth in the SEC championship game. Shouts out to the Dogs full show. Where is my air horn? Come on, air horn. See the air horn when I don't. There we go. Dogs are doing the doggone thing. You know my saying. I don't say anything till the game's over, but ring the bell, baby. I was happy to ring that bell. And then, of course, we know that we will be facing the Tigers of LSU, a very surprisingly good LSU squad this year. Had a couple of rough losses. One right out the gate against FSU. a drubbing by Tennessee at home. But other than that, have really pulled things together. So I'm really looking forward to this. And I got a coworker at work. I got a coworker at my job that wants to do another side bet. The same one that had me wearing that medium compression shirt. He wants to
Oh
do
yeah.
another one. I said, look here, bro. We work a job, but we deal with terms and conditions. So we're gonna have to come up with some terms and conditions before I agree to any type of wager. Because not that I think that we're gonna lose, but in that slim chance that we do, you ain't gonna have me up here looking like a walking HR violation. That ain't
HR
happening.
violation. Yeah. Hey.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's go right ahead and jump right on into it, man. Let's start. You know, we do this is our one of our newer segments. We haven't really come up with a thing for it yet, but we call it the good, the bad, the ugly. So we're gonna start with the good. You touched on one of them. Our boy Lad McConkey is back. Lad had a pretty rough start to the season. A couple of drop passes, a couple of misassignments, a couple fumbles. Um, I mean, and short like breadbasket catches that he easily could have had a couple more touchdowns under his belt, and he dropped. A couple of missed blocking assignments led to some rush passes on Stess's part, but he has definitely recovered. He had 141 total yards of offense and 2 touchdowns. Of course, half of that we saw that was on that double reverse jet sweep when he broke through, got that big block, and it was almost like Run Lindsay Run all over again. Except the game was not at stake at that point. So
Right.
that's one guy that I wanted to shout out. So you already talked about that. So what do you got for your good?
Yeah, I mean, the running game was great. Passing game was great. Like I said, Stetson had 2 interceptions, but overall he was great. He had he had 289 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. But again, you said McConkey, you said McIntosh ran, Kendall Milton. I mean, he was running lights out. He was running hard. And then you had Kearis Jackson was catching the ball, and you had Rosemary Jackson. He showed up with a couple big time catches.
Yes,
Um,
sir. Yes, sir.
and we had Edwards. Obviously, he's running the ball. I mean, it just. I mean, and the defense can't say nothing about the defense. Jalen Carter, he was there. He had a stack. And
Yeah,
he was
yeah. The
definitely
the sack to seal the game, actually.
yeah. And his presence was definitely felt. I think that him being on the field actually, made our defense a lot more tough of a force to deal with because he was there and causing chaos and a lot of the replays I saw, they were kind of jumping up in the middle, causing havoc in the middle, so they couldn't run the ball and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, like you said, complete. Both sides of the ball. I mean, like it was a good game. I mean, aside from obviously a couple of miscues here and there, but I mean,
Yeah, we're gonna talk about those too. Don't worry. Don't worry.
yeah,
Um, also shouts out to Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers was not a huge he wasn't a huge presence in the game. Not a lot of breakaway plays, but all of his plays were key plays on third down, a lot of third down plays. Also threw a lot of key blocks. He wound up having a touchdown. He only had 41 yards and 5 receptions, but he still averaged 8.2 per reception, which is important. But definitely got to shout out Big O, our guy Big O, had 5 receptions and 1 touchdown. And most importantly, he was the guy that sprung that key block on. He was the guy that sprung the key block on McConkey's 70-yard run, and he was
right,
also the guy that sprung the key block on McConkey's touchdown reception. I mean, he just pancaked the dude.
yeah.
It's just almost like he went to shove. It's almost, matter of fact, if you look at it, it was like he went to shove the dude. It was like, I'm down, I'm down, I'm down. What are they feeding you, Jesus?
But hey, think about the pass down the middle. Remember when Stetson threw it up there and he just grabbed it and pulled it down?
Right?
That was a
I
wonderful
mean,
catch. That was
these
a wonderful
guys
catch.
were out there balling all day, every day. Excuse me, sir. Also, another big on the good column, the defense. This is key. One of the big things about Mississippi State is about Mike Leach's air raid offense, and one of their big things is you know, it's really easy. Somebody broke it down, and I hadn't thought about this. It said it's really easy for Will Rogers to have 300 yards passing the game, plus when he's doing a lot of five and outs, boom boom. And that's how they get a lot of their third down plays. The defense held Mississippi State to 3 of 14 on third down conversion. That is absolutely
Oh, wow.
insane.
Yeah, that's incredible.
That's last year's defense type of stats right there.
Yeah.
Shouts out to our guy Drew Miller, Drew Dog, another dog fan out there holding it down strong in the comment section. Appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you share this with your folks and let them know that there's a couple of dogs on here talking about some UGA action. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, all of you that are watching, for tuning in to tonight's episode of This Week in UGA Football. Mr. Fingaz here, Collin P over there. We doing what we do just for you. That's another bar right there. Bar. Let me get that air horn right quick. Bar, I'm full of bars, man, because I don't ride in cars. When I go outside at night with the clouds out, I can't see the stars. Sometimes when people call and say, come out, I say, I can't. That's too far. When I cook my steaks, I cook them till they got charred. Okay, I'm done. I was cooped up inside this weekend because I wasn't feeling well. So now I want to cut up when I get on the airwaves here. But thank y'all. Appreciate y'all tuning in tonight. And appreciate y'all holding it down in the comment section. You did mention Stetson Bennett. So that leads us over to the bad. I don't want to throw our quarterback under the bus, but we are realistic UGA fans right here. And realistic UGA fans got to be real about some things with regard to the team. And one of those things is sometimes we still have a propensity to sometimes have a bad play at the wrong time. And we had a couple of those. And not to throw our quarterback under the bus because he's doing a phenomenal job, but Stetson Bennett had a couple of picks and a fumble. Fortunately, we were able to recover the fumble, and the defense was able to shut down anything that was going on in terms of what Mississippi State was able to gain off of those turnovers. But we still have to. We're in the stage of the season where we can't afford stuff like that. I mean, we're playing Kentucky next week, and though Kentucky has not lived up to expectations, Collin, you and I were both kind of off on that one. We thought they would be better than they were. We thought they were going to be where Tennessee was this year. Excuse me. But we play Kentucky next week, and we got to watch out for them.
Well, yeah, I mean, let's be honest. One of those interceptions that hit his hand. I mean, he was trying to make it. Trying to make the pass, and then it's. But yeah, we definitely can't afford to do that if we play LSU or any other team like that. I mean, that's just we can't do that. And that's those types of things can come back and bite you really fast. No matter, be a game changer and be a momentum swing. And that's the type of things that we don't need. So,
yeah, 100%. Especially you're talking about an SEC championship game against a very hungry LSU team. I mean, if they're very hungry, and I don't want to speak things into existence, but you wrong turnover at the wrong time, especially if the game is tight, can be the difference between a win and a loss. So, another thing I saw that I didn't care for too much, I got Drew in here. Now, Drew, I'm sorry I can't get your comments up on the feed because they're not coming through here. That's why I'm watching on the Facebook. But our guy Drew says interceptions don't equal Heisman hopes, which is true. One thing that we did that I did see with the secondary, this right here, we got a couple of bad defensive pass interference calls. Again, we were playing a Mississippi State team that we kind of had well in hand. Excuse me, man, this cough had been bothering me all day. Now, because I'm on the air, the cough wants to come bother me. We played a Mississippi State team that we had the game well in hand with, so we were able to overcome that. But these are the kinds of things that we need to definitely get in hand. And our guy Drew makes a very good point. You can't count Kentucky out because they have a decent defense. I agree with you, and we're going to get into that a little bit later, and we'll break it down a little bit later. But I will say this about Kentucky: Will Rogers is only averaging about roughly 200 yards a game. Not Will Rogers. I'm sorry, Levis. Levis is averaging about 200 yards a game. okay, in week 11. We're talking about a quarterback that was a lot more prolific this time last year. And the stat that stands out to me on his stat line more than anything else, he has been sacked 34 times this season.
Yeah.
34. And he's thrown 9 interceptions, which means he's thrown at least almost one a game. So what's that telling me? Their O-line, man. But we'll get into that a little bit later on. We're not gonna get into that too tough. Shouts out to our guy Nathan Snell from the Big Nate Sports Talk. Oh, I got ginger ale. Look, man, don't come to look. That's big. That's big. You gonna come at me with Big Mama's cold remedy? Man, I've been on this. I've been on Mucinex and everything all weekend. Only reason it's bothering me now because I didn't take some before I came on. That's all. But I appreciate. No, I clown. I appreciate the lookout, brother. I appreciate the lookout. Also didn't help that I ate a pizza on Friday night when it was really starting to come on strong. And milk aggravates that production of mucus. That dairy products aggravate production of mucus, so it really got real bad. I didn't really see anything uber ugly except for the interceptions. What about you?
No, me either, really. I mean, like I said, it was more of a. I mean, I wouldn't say it was more of a complete game against, other than better than Tennessee. I mean, it was another good sign, a good complete game on both sides of the ball. Aside from the 2 picks and that kind of stuff. But the defense looked good. I mean, they looked great. Aside from the defensive pass interference, they were flying around, and the secondary looked good. I mean, it is college. I mean, I'll give up a pass interference. I mean, it's a 15-yard penalty, that kind of stuff. But not a lot. I mean, I'll every now and then. I mean, you get a little too close, get called. That's all right. But just they can be momentum swingers too. So I mean,
yes,
we got to be careful about that too. So
yes, especially if you're in a situation, we've had a couple of games that are pretty close. When you're in a close game and your defense is holding fast, and you got them on 3rd and long, and your DB gives up a DPI call, that could be addition to your opponent's momentum, and that's something that we don't want to be giving away. Not at all.
Exactly.
Not
on 3rd
in any
down.
way, shape, form, or
Yeah.
fashion. There was also a comment. Drew said Kirby needs to stop being greedy before halftime. Just go ahead and take the D. I may have been away from the television, but I all I know is they returned a kickoff or a punt return or something. What happened?
Punt return, yeah, it was a punt return. I mean, and that was because of the I can't remember how that set that up, but yeah, it was because of that. They gave him field position. So, I think it was after the.
Take the.
Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah. So, we've pretty much already gone over the players of the game. I mean, and can we talk about? We did not mention. Did you see Stanquavius put the brakes on, ran up on the defender and said, "Give me your ankles."
Yeah,
and took him.
Yep.
That boy stopped like his brakes had been Midas-ized. He said, "Skirt, boom."
Yep.
He hit the brake. He hit the brakes. He downshifted and right by him. I mean, Stetson is the thing that the mention was made. The mention was made of Stetson and Heisman hopes. I don't think Stetson was ever really legitimately going to be looked at as a Heisman candidate because there's too many. What's the word I'm looking for? There's too many things with him that people could look at to criticize. Like, he's not a perfect quarterback.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. He's not what you call he's not a guy who goes out and lights up the scoreboard every week. He's prone to throw a pick. He's prone to fumble the ball. One thing that he is good for, though, is he is very good about getting it out of his head. He's gotten way better about it this year. We saw it last year where he'd make a mistake and they'd have to give the ball over on downs, and he'd go to the sidelines and he'd be fussing with Kirby. He regroups, he comes back next play, he's all in, and that's so I don't ever think he was going to get a legitimate shot at being looked at as a Heisman candidate. Yeah,
nah, he's got. I mean, honestly, people have been down on him since the start. I mean, it's like they nitpicking. I mean, even though he does good things. It's unfortunate, basically. I mean, he's not your prototypical or your not prototypical, but your typical quarterback that I guess they look for as a Heisman candidate. So
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
I don't think
100%.
I bias him anymore. I mean,
And as far as that touchdown run he had, man, look. Now here's where I miss Berman. Here's where I miss Berman. Chris Berman would have been like, Stetson Bennett looking right. Stetson Bennett looking right. Takes off, running to the left. Defender in the way. Skirt.
yeah, Chris Berman. Yeah, I could hear him on that all day long.
No, I'm sorry, not Skirk. His name was Whoop. His name was Whoop.
Whoop. Yeah.
Yeah. So listen, those of you that are watching, thank you guys so much for tuning in this week in UGA football. Mr. Fingaz here, Collin P there. We are going to take a very brief pause for the cause, show a little love to our number one sponsor, Squid Rips Cards. We will be right back. Don't go anywhere. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Squid Ribs Cards are unofficial sponsor of this week in UGA football. That's our guy Sid Swinton from the Let's Talk Football family. They got he and his wife have about 3 shows now that they're running as part of the show, as part of the Let's Talk Football family. He is live on TikTok a couple times a week, several times a week actually, doing fresh polls. You need cards, he's got them. Get at him. His tag is at Squid Ribs Cards. You can see it right down there in the crawl. If you want to get at him today, he can get you squared away. Collin, how you doing, brother?
Oh man, I'm good. I'm good. I'm anxious.
Is it setting in yet? Is it, because we've been Georgia fans, us, me, you, and Drew. We've been Georgia fans for a long time. And anybody that's been a fan of any Georgia sports team for a long time will tell you we have learned to expect we have learned to be hopeful for the best.
So,
but know that
I've got it. You hope for the best, prepare for the letdown. It used to be the inevitable letdown, but now it's not.
Or at least prepare. Yeah. So Collin and I were talking about this on the phone about an hour or so ago. It feels good to walk around with the gear on and have people say, "Hey man, your boys are looking really good. Congrats on the championship. Looks like y'all might run it back." Versus, hey man, I was really rooting for y'all in that conference championship. Hey man, I was really rooting for y'all in the national title game. Like, it feels really good to hear that, Hey man, that's a doggone shame. Y'all won 100. Your Braves won 102 games and got swept in the National League Divisional Series. Or hey man, if you really long time Georgia sports fan, hey man, Hawks played a hell of a series. The Celtics just had more. You know what I mean?
Yep, absolutely.
So it's
like I said to you, man. I'm happy to see it.
This is new to this is a new feeling for us. We always knew that there was something special. Georgia fans have always loved their football program, have always known there's something special about it. But now with the national championship and so far an undefeated season, what is that? 22 straight since last year? Well, counting last year, 22. And I know there was something on the back end of the previous season, or did we? I don't even know. I haven't gone that far back. So I'm only going back to last season, 22 consecutive regular season wins with no losses. It feels really good to have that. What are you thinking about it?
Yeah, no, it feels great because just think about it. We'd always. I had mentioned this to you before. I was almost at the point like I wish they wouldn't even get like the Braves, and I wish our Georgia teams wouldn't get so close or even make the playoffs because it was such a letdown whenever they got to the dance and then they got beaten down. And it just feels so good to get for them, for them to finish the drill, basically what it is, and finish everything out. Having that championship, having World Series, especially for the Dogs. It's been 41 years, man. It just, can you imagine? We were, and us being so close with Chubb and Michelle and and Fromm and those guys. I mean, we were there. We were there.
Yeah, I would have loved for those guys to get one. If there's any team that I would have loved, and that's not a knock, I would have loved for all of them to get one. But if there's any team that I think that I would have really wanted to get one, it was those guys, because everybody was laughing at, because Kirby's like, why are you playing Jake Fromm? Why did you put Easton back in? These guys are not any good. Chubb had hurt his leg. No, Chubb had hurt his leg or something like that. And he was
It
having
was
a
like
great
that.
comeback
Almost
season.
we played Tennessee or something. And he tore his ACL. So I mean, he was out for a while.
You know what I mean? These guys were playing lights out ball all season long, and every time it seemed like the game was not going our way, From would pull a rabbit out. He pull a rabbit out of a hat and scramble for 27 yards for a first down and within field goal range, and then Specs would come out and kick a field goal, an insane field goal.
Oh man!
So it really feels good. This is really new to real fans, not to real Georgia fans that love the team, not the fans, not the folks that are along for the ride because they're winning. I'm talking about folks that have been fans since when Vince Dooley, before he even became the AD, since Herschel, since who grew up knowing about Flatfoot Frankie Sinkwich and Charlie Trippy before there was a Herschel Walker, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
so
absolutely
right, and it's new. It's new because Collin and I were both young boys when they won the 1980 championship, and some of y'all weren't even born yet. So now we really have a chance as adults to go, so this is what this feels like.
Exactly.
And it's dope. It is so dope, man. I mean, I don't mean to come over here and gush, but I mean, it is what it is.
It's kind of like, now we know how Alabama. Well, we don't yet. I mean, obviously, maybe we're on
Now we know. Now we know. I'll fix that for you. Now we know how Alabama fans felt when Alabama won that championship, the first one under Nick Saban.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So So I'm still trying to think about how it would feel, being used to winning, that kind of stuff. I guess we're seeing that right now with some of the Alabama fans, So,
I mean, dude, they lost one game. And fans were like, Saban needs to be fired, and the athletic director needs to be run out of town on a rail. And calm down. You lost one game.
Yeah. I mean,
you lost
like
one game.
Bama's Bama. I mean, like, they had one subpar. I mean, two losses subpar year, and they'll be back.
And hold on now. Here's the thing. It's not like they're having a subpar season, because I don't even think the margin of loss in those two games is 4 points.
Yeah, that's true.
You got that saying.
The Bama does what Bama do. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, they could have easily won those games easily. I mean, they just came short. So.
I mean, Nate hit it right on the head. That's what we call being spoiled like a baby. Well, let's be real. Nate hit it right on the head. Let's talk about that for a second before we move on to our next topic. The way that college football is now, with Alabama having such a dynasty in college football, with the New England Patriots having the dynasty they had in pro football during the Tom Brady years, fans have gotten to the point. Now, pro football is a little different because they have an established playoff system, and losses don't mean elimination from playoff contention. But with college football, I remember growing up, 10-2 was good. I think we went 10-2 the year after the 1980 and still was back in it for the championship, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I mean, we've been 10-2. We won 10 games, like, I mean, more than anything. We were actually a good team.
Whatever. Right. But my point is that 2 losses was not a bad season. It's 10 wins in a 12-win season. 10 wins is a damn good season. Yeah. But now it's not. But now for the fans, it's not enough. Oh, we suck. Oh, the coaches suck. Everybody sucks. See, everybody sucks. They need to fire everybody, and God gets some new coaches in here, and it's like, okay, you just won a national championship last year. I mean, let's think about that for a minute. Yeah. Nick Saban is only 2 years removed from having won that national title. Because he won in 2020. He won the 2020 season. We won last season. Now he's not going to get a chance to play for the playoff this year. And the fans are like, not the real fans,
Right.
the fly by night fans, the ones that want to walk around and thump their chest and say, "Yeah, right, roll tide." Yeah, nah. The
Yeah.
same people that will go into hiding if Saban retires tomorrow and they have another drought like they had between Bear Bryant, Gene Stallings, and then between Gene Stallings and Nick Saban.
Right.
Those are the ones they get upset about it, man. I don't get it, man. I'm like we said, we used to not having. So there's something about not having that when you get it makes you appreciate it because you don't know when you're gonna get it again.
Exactly. And what happens if we do? If if we're lucky to get it again this year, we talked about that before. Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna act. 2 in a row. I mean, like 2
Oh
in
my
my
God,
lifetime or 3 in my lifetime.
bruh, we gonna
Yeah.
have to try real hard not to turn into what we say we hate Bama fans. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
you know I'm gonna be trolling. Like, of course I won't do it real bad, and I'm only gonna do it for about a week, and then I'll leave it be because I'm a fun. The older I get, I'm a firm believer in karma. I try not to talk too much smack to people.
oh yeah,
I try not to talk too much smack to people because that smack will come back around and get you.
with the
I just
quickness, yes sir.
with a real quickness. But yep. So as it stands, we have clinched the SEC East, and we are poised to play LSU. How you feeling about it?
I feel good. I mean, I would rather play LSU than Alabama. We've already established that, and playing Daniels, the quarterback, and that kind of stuff. And yeah, I would like to. It'd be a good test, you know. I mean, but to see what Tennessee did to them, I mean, I know they're not the same team. You know, we won't be facing the same team that Tennessee might have won. But I think it'd be a good test. How
Yeah,
about
I
yourself?
am.
I mean, you know,
Yeah. I mean, I'm actually excited. I'm kind of excited because I think the last time we played LSU didn't go so well for us.
it's been a
So
while.
it would kind of be a little bit of a revenge game, to an extent. I think it was 2018, and I don't know if we
Yeah,
played them since.
no, we haven't. No, that's another conversation about switching the SEC West teams we play. Throw somebody in there.
Well,
That's another
I
conversation.
know why they keep Auburn together because that's our oldest rivalry. I know why
Right.
we do
Exactly.
Georgia Tech because it's an in-state rivalry. I know
Mhm.
why Georgia Florida because that's just let's just be real. They keep Georgia Florida because that's money.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
That game is just going to sell. That game is going to be a sellout every single year. We could both be and whatever come that week. That game's going to be a sellout because that's just how much Florida and Georgia fans just can't stand each other's squads. So
Exactly. And that's pretty much your only game that's going to be 50-50. I mean, 50% Georgia,
right,
50% Florida. I mean, it won't be more fans than the other. It'll be split right down the middle because they sell tickets that way.
yeah, I strongly feel that I feel that Brian Kelly has overachieved this year because nobody expected much out of him. First year coach replacing a beloved coach, even though he had a bad last season. Um, Having to go in, acclimate himself, be able to recruit at a high level, and to have them not only at a point because remember they were projected to finish fourth or fifth in the West.
Yeah.
They were supposed to finish behind Alabama, Ole Miss, A&M. Maybe it was fourth. They were supposed to finish. Ole Miss, Alabama, A&M. Not in that order, but that's who they were supposed to
Yeah.
finish behind. And right now,
Well,
A&M is A&M has only won 3 games. Ole Miss is not going. They beat LSU. Oh, the LSU beat Ole Miss,
mhm.
and Alabama has 2 losses.
And then last week in LSU barely, made it over Arkansas. They barely beat Arkansas.
But
But
still, yeah,
still,
Arkansas
no,
was supposed to. I
and
think that's
you know
the
what I'm
other
saying
one.
is, but what I'm saying is like look at what he said though. I mean, like remember, it will always be, what he said in his interview there. He's like, well, he said maybe I don't think we can play much worse. Maybe we can. It's my first year. I mean, did that have any kind of, did that light a fire under the team? Maybe.
Did it serve as a motivator? Maybe it did.
Maybe it did. I mean, I don't know. I had the opposite reaction. Maybe that's what he wanted.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you there. Um, we're not going to get into a score prediction now we'll table that. We'll come back around. That'll be a feature the week of SEC. That'll be week of conference championship week. We'll get into that right there. So we're gonna move a little forward here. Before we get into our next matchup, real quick, we're gonna drop a little video here because we are part of the Let's Talk Football family of shows. The godfather and godmother of Let's Talk Football, Sean Spencer, Janae Struther, were on earlier. Let's Talk Football. They were on right before us. They finished up right before we came on. And they have put together one heck of a slate of shows that you all can enjoy every single day of the week. And here's how you can watch them. We'll be right back. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where you can catch every single solitary one of our shows on the Let's Talk Football family of podcasts. And there are more coming with every single solitary day. Those of you that are here watching, we appreciate you. We know that right now you could be somewhere watching the Eagles play the Commanders. I'm just going to do a little live look in here and see what the score is looking like right now, if I can get the thing to open up. So for those of you that are watching us and not watching that game, the score is currently at the end of the first quarter. The Eagles are leading by 14. The Commanders have 7. That is actually very impressive. So, hey, because, the Eagles are leading the league right now, the last undefeated team in the league, and that's where they stand right now. So, hey, welcome back, gang. So, Collin, here's where I wanted to go before we get into our last couple of segments. What are you thinking about for CFP rankings? I mean, right now, based on what we got, everybody won. We beat Mississippi State, Ohio State thrashed Indiana 56-14. Michigan State held Nebraska to a field goal, and TCU beat number 18 Texas, edged them by a touchdown. So the top 4 shall remain intact. As we also know, number 5 Tennessee beat Missouri, number 6 Oregon. They lost. Oregon lost to Washington. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Oregon lost to Washington. And LSU at number 7 edged out Arkansas by a field goal. So what are we thinking? LSU jumps up past Oregon and everything else remains the same. Same beat the new boss, same as the old boss.
Yeah, I mean, we're number 1, and then was Ohio State? You said the Ohio State number 2.
Yeah, 1 through 4, 1 through 5 will not change because they all won. 6 is the wild card because Oregon lost. I think Oregon drops to probably.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
Oregon will drop to 10.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else will bump up a slot. Oregon will drop to 10. Because behind that, LSU won, Alabama won, Clemson won. Who's number 8? I don't see that on here. Probably further down somewhere. I don't even see where number 8 played. But anyway, I think they dropped down to 10. That's where I got them. I mean, they still got a chance for redemption, but they have no. Right now, the shining game on their resume is us, and I don't think they have any heavy artillery left in the chute except for a shot at the Pac-12 championship. So,
Yeah, so I mean, we were talking about earlier. You look at like Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, TCU, Michigan, and Ohio State play next this weekend, right? So one of
No,
those
they
guys
don't.
will have a loss.
No, they don't.
Huh?
Wait a minute. Hold on. I don't think they play this weekend. I think their game is Thanksgiving weekend.
Oh, is it okay? But I mean, one of those teams will have a loss, probably. I mean, they have to, right? So
Yeah.
OSU and Michigan have a loss. Like we were talking about earlier. I mean, I can't really count out TCU. I mean, like who do they have next? But I'm okay with the rankings now. I mean, Tennessee's outside. I mean, they still got kind of a chance. We were explaining that earlier. You were explaining that earlier to me.
I mean,
But I don't know.
TCU still has a couple bangers left on their schedule. They are playing Baylor this weekend, and even though Baylor's not ranked, Baylor can get you. Like I said, the Big 12 has a tendency to eat it. Pardon the expression, it has a tendency to eat its own young. Baylor is dangerous, and Iowa State is dangerous. Although neither one of them is ranked, they have the ability to. That's one thing about the Big 12. I think the Big 12 is turning into the new SEC, just minus all the national championships. They'll beat each other up all season. I mean, for the first time in ever, neither one of the two major state schools in this state are going to qualify for the playoffs.
Right.
Neither one of the two teams in this state are going to the two major state schools. Now, we're not discounting Tulsa, or Langston University, but neither one of the two major state schools in this state will even have an opportunity to compete for the conference championship.
Yeah. When's the last time that happened?
I don't know. I mean, up until last season, Oklahoma had 6 straight consecutive Big 12 championships, 6 or 7 under Lincoln Riley.
Yeah. Yeah.
It hasn't happened in forever. So, I mean, here's the way I look at it. Georgia should win out.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State or Michigan is going to lose. The winner will take the number 2 spot.
Right.
I don't see TCU losing. They'll take the number 3 spot.
Right.
But that leaves the number 4 spot wide open. So in Tennessee, let's see who Tennessee has on deck. Yeah, Tennessee has. I typed in Tennessee. It's going to give me the state.
I got you. Tennessee's got South Carolina and Vanderbilt left on the schedule.
They're not going to lose to Vanderbilt. And after the way that South Carolina rolled over and played dead to Florida, I don't see that happening either. The Spencer, ladies and gentlemen, newsflash: the Spencer Rattler hype train has officially left the building, as has the JT Daniels hype train. I noticed that it has been very awkwardly quiet in every single University of Georgia sports group on Beyonce's Blue app, as I like to call Facebook, about JT Daniels, because that was the chatter all year, every year. Why is JT not starting? He got hurt, but let him come back and play all season while Stetson was busy doing what he did. The Dogs kept winning. You need to put JT in. If he doesn't put JT in, I'm not. And they lose his conference championship, I'm not going to be a fan. And then the national championship. Oh my God, he's not starting JT Daniels. I kept saying. What were the 3 words I kept saying, Collin?
They were talking about him when he went to West Virginia, and he still was a topic of conversation in the Georgia group.
Right. Remember what the 3 words were I used every time? And I don't get involved in these conversations very often. My 3 words. 3 words, 4 syllables. Trust the process.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Kirby gets paid a lot of money to do what he does. He's not always going to agree with what you think, but JT, and it's inevitably, Kirby came out and said, Stetson's my guy going into the season unless I see otherwise in training camp. JT said, Coach, it's been great. Appreciate the experience. He went down to West Virginia. JT Daniels got benched yesterday.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Saturday. He got benched in their game Saturday against Oklahoma. They were beating Oklahoma, and he got benched. So, but yeah, where was I going with this? So, Tennessee. So that still leaves. But here's my wild card right here. So 1 and 2 are going to be spoken for. If TCU wins, 3 is going to be spoken for. Here's my scenario: Georgia beats LSU. That pretty much eliminates them.
Yeah.
The Pac-12. The only hope I see for anybody else to get in is if USC wins all the way out. And pull their schedule up for me while I'm talking about that. If
Yeah,
USC wins,
they got UCLA and Notre Dame. So I mean they're very well
two tough ones. Notre Dame is surging, and UCLA is no slouch. So if they win those 2 games in the Pac-12 championship, I think they get in over Tennessee, strictly by virtue of the fact that they both one-loss teams. But the tiebreaker is USC would have the conference championship. That's what I got.
Yeah, I can agree totally with that.
Yeah.
And then to throw a wrench in there, you got Alabama at number 8. Now you were looking for number 8. Alabama's number 8.
Well, I don't see Alabama getting in because they got 2 losses and they're not going to play in the conference championship. I mean, the whole world would have to shift immensely. The entire top of the heap of the CFP rankings would have to fall apart for Alabama to get a steady shot. And even with 1 loss, I still see Georgia getting it before Alabama. Just my thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we're gonna get in regardless.
Yeah, moving on. We're gonna just briefly touch on. We got Kentucky coming up this week. What do you got, real quick? What do you got on Kentucky?
I don't think it's going to be that big of a game. I mean, they lost to Vanderbilt this past weekend, so they'll be. I mean, I don't feel like they're going to be mad. They might have the opposite effect. They might be crushed, but they did lose to Vanderbilt. I think we'll be fine. I mean, I don't even know what the line is on that game, but I think we'll be fine.
Well, like our guy Drew was saying, their defense is no slouch. But again, like I mentioned earlier, Will Levis has been sacked 34 times, and he's averaging less than 200 yards a game. And his leading receivers. Here we go with the cough again. Excuse me. His leading receivers. He's got 3 guys with 400 yards receiving, as much as he likes to throw the ball around. For just over 400 yards. That's it. The next closest receiver is 188. But he's been sacked 34 times this year. He's only averaging just over 200 yards a game. And when you got – so basically what that means is all he has to build on is Chris Rodriguez.
Right.
And if Chris Rodriguez only has 6 touchdowns all season. So if they figure out a way to bottle up Chris Rodriguez and send Jalen after him, it's a wrap.
Exactly. And look what we did at Tennessee. I mean, we had Hyatt and we had him covering smothered, and they had other weapons, but we had them covered too. So I mean, if Levis only has one premier target, it could be nasty.
Yeah. So real quick, let's get a score prediction. We'll get into our 2-minute warning. What do you got for that game?
54-10.
Ooh. My God. He said that with his whole chest, ladies and gentlemen. And he didn't stutter. My man Collin P from the DMV doing talking SEC on an INTERNET with me on the PC on a Monday for you, and thee. Said it with his whole chest. 54-10. Let me hit the air horn one more time. Let me hit it one more time. Wait a minute. Hold on. Bam. There it is.
Hold on, Peter.
Man, look. No, don't you do that. Don't you do that. You see how that worked out. Don't you do that. I'm going to go a little bit more conservative. I'm going to stay on the low end of 40. I'm going to say like 42, 43-10. Okay. And that touchdown is going to be a garbage time touchdown late in the game. That's what I'm thinking.
Right. And that's kind of where I was going with that. Yeah.
I'm thinking Kirby is sending the defense after Will early and often. He's going to wear him out. He's going to shake him up. And then, that's the thing. That's
the thing that you and I talked about. I mean, we need to play not necessarily that conservative, but we need to be not concerned, but I mean, be careful about injuries. We're at the stage of the game now. We got to be careful what not necessarily to play not to lose, but I mean, we need to be careful what we do as far as injuries.
Yes, 100%. because we need as many guys healthy as possible. I mean, I know this is
Oh
a
yeah,
stretch. We got one more game with Georgia Tech, which I think, well, the Tech game that we could. You know what? I'll give you, I'll give you high 40s for the Georgia Tech game. I think for that game, I'm gonna go ahead. We go just go ahead and put the Georgia Tech score out now. I'm saying 48-49-3. Kirby lets the boys get out there and do their thing, and then he's gonna put Carson back in there. Oops, okay. So if Carson's going in there, Carson's gonna throw at least one or two more. So that'll be 50
yeah,
something. I would say 50 something to maybe six.
yeah. That would be fine with me. I mean, I would love for him to post that, at halftime or whatever, maybe third quarter or whatever. Put some of those guys in there to get some time.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Well, listen, let's go ahead and we're going to move into our last segment. Thank those of you that have been tuning in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to this week in UGA football. Mr. Fingaz here, Collin P over there. We're on every Monday, sometimes on a Tuesday if our schedules don't mesh up. And if there's something really special going on, you might see us again in a week. But make sure to check us out, like, share, and subscribe. But we have come to our final segment of the show. And, as the clock winds down closer to the end of the game, you know what time it is when that whistle blows. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. Our 2-minute warning. That is where Collin and I just take a couple of minutes to share something with you. It can be funny, it can be thoughtful, it can be insightful, it can be even a little bit of a tearjerker every now and again. But Collin, what you got for us today for the 2-minute warning? Oh, wait a minute. By the way, it's gotten cold outside. Do you guys have your winter gear? I got my winter gear. You see what I got on my head right there? I think it says something you all might recognize. It says Zagnif Apparel. What is Zagnif Apparel? I'm glad you asked. It is our signature line of podcast merchandise, winter merchandise, athletic wear. Where can you get it? Right down there in the bottom right corner. If you watch it on your computer, hit the QR code with your phone. If you watch it with your phone, go ahead and ZagnifApparelDesign.com. We actually changed the website. It's now ZagnifApparelDesign.com, but you can still go to that link right there. You can get these. We got hoodies. We got leggings for the ladies. We got lazy pants for Christmas. And oh, by the way, Christmas is coming. And the Christmas deadlines for ordering your stuff to get it in time for Christmas. Great gift ideas for your family and friends. Good place to go check that out. So I'm gonna have to put an ad together for that. I'm going to do that this week. I was
Yeah.
very ill. I was very ill prepared. I kept looking at my hat and going, do the drop, do the drop. But I didn't have one. So
You
all right,
did just fine.
that's enough laughing at me, audience. All right, our 2-minute warning. I'm gonna let you go first, sir.
Well, go buy some stuff from Zagnif Design Apparel. Zagnif Apparel Design. But yeah, I mean, you actually just said that. You said about it getting cold. I mean, I don't know how it is. We talked about it earlier, but here in Northern Virginia, the weather is just crazy. Like it'll be 70 one day, and then it'll be drop down to like 30 or 40. Just keep that in mind, man. I mean, dress for the weather. Don't think you somebody to go out there and like myself. Sometimes I go outside in shorts, and I should know better than that. But yeah, just take care of yourself in the weather. And it's even the COVID stuff going around. There's still the flu. There's still stuff you can get and that kind of stuff. Just take care of yourself. Drink water, fluids, that kind of stuff, and just take care of yourself. And it's cold outside. Grab a jacket. So.
Yes, sir. I remember those days when I thought I was cool as a kid. Now, Lee, I don't want to wear no coat. I'm a little stupid. Standing out of the bus stop freezing. Then my mom talking about how you catch a cold. I seen you to school with a coat. Then you don't even wear it.
I'm not okay, but once my legs get cold, it's over with. My legs get cold, I'm cold. I can't get warm. Once my legs get cold.
Look, man, look. All I gotta do when I get up, look, I learned a trick. When I get up, before I walk outside, I put my hand on the window. Whoop, okay, jacket weather. There it is. I don't even have to check the temperature. It's like that. Or I'll go out in the garage. If the garage is cold, it's twice as cold outside. That's how that works.
That's for sure. Yep.
My My 2-minute warning for today is I'm gonna keep it sports related. Sports is a wonderful thing. It brings people together that share a common cause, especially if they love the same sport. Um, it can bring people together. You can celebrate. A lot of people, eat, go hang out and drink, things like that. Let's learn to not take it as seriously as we take it. It's almost gotten to the point to with sports and how people feel about their sports, as with a whole lot of other things in the world. It's like my opinion is the only one that matters, and if you don't like my team, then you go jump off of you can jump, you can go do something to yourself. Um, Insert whatever verb you want to. I'll leave that up to your imagination. We got a bunch of adult viewers, so um, it's just let's just learn to enjoy it, man. I just like to go out and I like to talk about how I went to the Georgia Tech game, and I met a lot of great Georgia Tech fans. They were really nice, and we talked and things like that. It was just really cool. And there wasn't no like Mary J. Blige said, wasn't no hateration, holleration in this dancery. We just all came out to watch a football game and have a good time. And
Yeah.
fortunately for one side, a team was going to win, and unfortunately for the other side, a team was going to lose. But at the end of the day, if it ever bothers you about how your team lost the game, before you get pissed, check and see if you got food in the fridge, if you got a roof over your head, if you got clothes on your back. As if you have, as old people like to say in church on Sunday, a reasonable portion of your health and your strength, people that love you, and even if you don't have all of those things, if you got a couple of them, you got more than a whole lot of other people have. So
Right.
just go ahead and take it for what it is. Couple hundred, 100 and some odd years ago, we didn't have this to entertain us on Saturday. You know what I mean? Now you can sit at home and do this. You can get in your car and go to the games and watch it. Although I don't know how people are affording to go right now. Anybody want to sponsor brother with some tickets to the SEC championship game? I would greatly appreciate it, because matter of fact, I might start a GoFundMe, because them tickets is
Man, if the tickets were that high at the Georgia Tennessee game, they're gonna be astronomical for the SEC championship.
I'm about to look it up right now just for frame of reference, so I can put it out, so people can see. SEC championship game tickets on Ticketmaster. Let's see what we got. And I know Ticketmaster is going to jack people for their pockets. Alrighty, see tickets. They got to be available. It's thinking. It's like, let me see how much. Let me see what
That's
zip
too many
code.
zeros.
Look, it's trying to figure out what zip code I live in, so I can figure out how much to tell me the ticket's going to be. Why won't you just show me how much the tickets are and stop messing with me? Are they not even for sale yet? They might not be for sale. I wonder when they open them up. Loading. Here they come. The miracle of modern technology, ladies and gentlemen. It's absolutely nuts. Alrighty. Let's pick the farthest seat away. It's still spinning. Ticketmaster's crazy. Okay. Seat 349, row 21, which is in the nosebleed seats. $426.
Yep. That's what I see. Anywhere from $450 to $500.
If you want to sit in the 100s in the front, $852.
Oof.
Well, I'm sorry, $426. That's for two tickets. But it looks like they're going pretty fast.
Yeah.
It's already, oh my Lord. It ain't a whole lot of seats left. Are you kidding me? Wow. If any of you all are watching this show for real, and you just got the bankroll where you just whipped out the credit card and just went charge it, one of y'all send me a link to where y'all is working so I can get a job there. Because even though I might not go to the game, but if I got enough money, if I'm making enough money that I can afford to spend that much money on a ticket and not and not worry about what I'm gonna eat for the next week, I need to come work with y'all. But anyway, like I was saying, just take the time and enjoy your life. Enjoy your life, and enjoy your sports, and try not to let it affect you so bad. You want to fight somebody, and you want to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just enjoy the sports. That's all I got, man. That's all I got. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to wrap up this week's edition of This Week in UGA Football. Those of you that tuned in this week, we appreciate y'all like mad, for real, for real. I know you could be, a lot of y'all have, flipped over to watch the game. I'm probably going to check that out myself while I make dinner. So, Collin, what you got popping this week, sir?
Not too much. Actually, you know what? I do have. I got my son and my parents are actually coming up. So we are
nice.
They're coming up early for Thanksgiving, 2 weeks from now, but they're coming. I think they're coming Friday or Saturday. I'm not certain. But yeah, so that's what I got. Yeah, we got family Thanksgiving, all that kind of good stuff coming up the following week. So got a
very
lot.
Nice,
and then
sir. Very nice.
Watching the dogs, man. Oh. And I am going to God's country. I'm taking B-Man to on December the 2nd. I am taking him down to Georgia. We're having kind of an early Christmas with the family down there. I haven't been to Georgia in a while, and he hasn't either.
Very nice.
So we're gonna go down there and see how much trouble we can get in the woods.
Well, but don't get in too much because I need you back here.
No, it takes a lot. You have to do a lot to get in trouble down there, man. And I have no intention of doing anything trouble to that. So
I got you, my friend. I got you. Wow. Now that I've brought this map out, it's hardly any seats left on the side with the Eastern Division team. So quite a few.
I mean, a lot of those ticket companies probably bought them all and then they resell them. So.
Yeah. So, having said all that, ladies and gentlemen, we do appreciate you all for tuning into this week's episode of This Week in SEC. I almost did it. I did it. I actually did it. Look, I made it all the way to the end of the show with the stuffy nose, the stuffy. Oh, 2 in 1 sentence. There we go. I've almost made it to the end of the show with the stuffy nose, the cough, and everything, and it finally got me. Appreciate you guys tuning into this week's show. We'll be back on Monday. That's about all we got right now. If things change, we'll let you know. And that's all I got to say about that. So on behalf of myself and my co-host, Collin Pete from the DMV, we appreciate y'all. We will see you next time. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.